Very rarely am I so pissed off about something that I have to upend our entire show structure and start with the segment Unbelievable. I don't ever want to hear Democrats in Washington state try to say that Republicans are a threat to our democracy. Ever again. I don't want to hear it. I don't want the media to buy into it. It is an absolute falsehood, and it is a distraction mechanism from the fact that they are and have been the only party in Washington state that is actively seeking to undermine our democracy. So much so that as we speak, Seattle and King County are using your money to overturn your vote from November. Now, that's assuming that you voted yes to protect natural gas as an option in your home and business, and you voted to pass Initiative 2066, as most Washington voters did. Because it passed in November. It was the only initiative that passed, the only victory out of all four initiatives. Democrats did everything they could. They threw everything they had at those initiatives, hoping they would fail. And for 3 out of the 4, they were successful. I mean, they threw bribes at voters. They passed a law to confuse voters on the ballot. They did everything they could to stop those initiatives from passing, yet one was able to sneak through, and it was Initiative 2066 that would say the state can't ban natural gas outright. It can't stop you from using natural gas in your home and business. It can't mandate that you spend tens of thousands of dollars converting your home from gas to electricity, which will, as we know, just go out in any sort of windstorm or any sort of weather event. So you made a decision after a hard-fought, hundreds of thousands of signatures, constitutionally protected right to initiative. The voters spoke, they pushed back, they voted on their ballots. And now you have the city of Seattle and King County deciding that they are going to sue you to overturn your will. Tell me, again, that Republicans are the ones who are a threat to our democracy. This from the Seattle Times this morning. King County and Seattle sue over natural gas initiative passed by voters. Here is, honest to God, the quote from Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell. It's not every day you start publicizing a lawsuit, but when we think our planet, our air, and our water, and how we are trying to save this planet is affected, we will come together and we will fight against voters. That's what it should say, against voters. The audacity of, and look, environmental groups, fine. If you're an environmental group, some sort of nonprofit, that was expected that they would sue to try to get rid of natural gas as an option. That's totally expected. Does it bother me? Sure. But is it problematic? No, they have every right to sue if they feel like it. They're going to lose. That is a much different thing than having elected officials use taxpayer funds for lawsuits to overturn the will of taxpayers. That is corruption. That is corrupt to the core. It's disgusting. And again, they wanted to, for the last 4 years, Republicans are a threat to our democracy. Republicans are attacking our elections. Republicans are undermining our democracy. And then look at all of the things that they have done to undermine voters before the vote even happened, and then now to overturn the will of voters after the vote happened and the vote doesn't go their way. Do I have to do the list every time of everything Democrats did when it came to these initiatives to try to interfere with them? Because they don't want an initiative process anyway. Some of them have come out and openly admitted it. The Speaker of the House, Lori Jenkins, saddened by what the initiative process has become. No, she's only saddened that it's conservatives who who are using the initiative process to try to put some sort of semblance of a check on the party in power. That's why she's saddened. She wasn't saddened when there were initiatives or measures around gay marriage or gun control. No, all on board with that. But the second it becomes conservatives who are using the power of initiatives to attempt to put a check on the party in power, you're saddened by it. Or Ryan Mello, the new Pierce County executive, who says he doesn't even believe in the initiative process. He believes that it's leaders, elected leaders, who should bring stakeholders to the table to talk over these things, completely ignoring that the biggest stakeholders are the citizens who are impacted by these policies. I mean, I will go through the list of things that Democrats did to undermine these initiatives before they even got to the ballot. They threatened and harassed lawful signature gatherers. The State Democratic Party, the ACLU, pushed out a tip line where you could call and snitch and take pictures of people and intimidate people who were engaged in the lawful collection of signatures. Again, they passed a law that they knew would make it more difficult to pass anti-tax initiatives by putting a little addendum to the bottom of the ballot to say, if you do this, bad things will happen. What else did they do? I mean, we could sit here for hours and talk about all the ways they lied about the initiatives. Marco Lee is saying, oh, you can't pass the Climate Commitment Act. You can't repeal the Climate Commitment Act because then these critical infrastructure projects that just so happen to be in purple areas like Spokane and Snoqualmie, those will just poof, they'll just stop. All the work will just grind to a halt. So if you need the widening of SR 18, well, you're screwed. If you vote to repeal the Climate Commitment Act, lied and used fear as a tactic to undermine the initiatives. They sued to try to keep the initiatives off the ballot. They issued bribes in the form of energy credits, just bribing taxpayers with their own money. And then after the election, what happened? Those energy credits and the money that was set aside for them just vanished. No more energy credits for you. Never mind, we were just bribing you with your own money to begin with. But now that the election's over and we got what we wanted, no more energy credits for you. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, and we keep electing these people into office. How disgusting is that? That you would use taxpayer funds because you didn't get your way to engage in lawfare to overturn the will of voters statewide. It just shows that Seattle and King County think they rule the state, and we've shown them that they do, right? They get to decide what's best for everyone. Even if it's a statewide vote, well, that's not best for them, they don't think. That's not what their voters want, they don't think. And so they're going to fight back with your money. It's insane. Brian Haywood, Let's Go Washington, put out a pretty lengthy statement about all of the different avenues being used to attack the one initiative that survived on the ballot. He said, as citizens struggle to afford housing and pay their energy bills, shamefully, the city of Seattle and King County are leading the charge to eliminate energy choice and make living more expensive. And that's what they're doing. They say they care about the poor and the middle class or communities of color. You tell me how the poor and the middle class is going to come up with money to electrify their home. Oh, and while you're at it, tell me how the electrical grid is going to handle that. Tell me how the electrical grid that can't keep up with what we have going on right now and the number of people who are using it and could go out for 7 days at a time when a windstorm hits. You tell me how that electrical grid is going to be able to keep up with it if you ban natural gas. You can't. And you cannot tell me how any person, I mean, lower class, middle class, upper middle class, frankly, is going to be able to come out of pocket $40,000 to $50,000 to electrify their home. You don't care. You don't care to think ahead and think about those things. It's absolutely disgusting. It is corrupt. It's truly corrupt. And Democrats are the party of undermining democracy. They own it now. Sign, seal, deliver. Democrats are the party of undermining democracy. Absolutely unbelievable.